Spider-Man.
Okay, everyone, so I have seen Deadpool and Wolverine. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of this movie. I am going to be posting a breakdown with full spoilers in the future, probably tomorrow, as well as things breaking down the cameos, what's next for Marvel Studios, because there is too much, honestly, to talk about. But for this video, it's going to be completely spoiler-free. I'm just going to give my thoughts on everything that I just witnessed. So subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 2,000 subs. I'm going to be posting so much about this movie, breaking all of it down, what's next for Marvel, because there are so many questions now that I have. Now let's talk about this movie. First, let's just talk about the two main characters, Deadpool and Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds is back, and he is Deadpool. Kind of like how they say Hugh Jackman is the only one who can play Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds is honestly the perfect casting for Deadpool. This is more of what we've had in the past, and now that he's in this Marvel MCU world, he can sort of play with those toys, and it's just so fun. All of the jokes in this movie really did hit, and there is a lot of joking. Deadpool's kind of known for balancing the heart with the comedy, and this movie's no different. And speaking of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, we get a different version of him here that we've never seen before. We kind of got hints of it in Logan, but this is definitely a different version of the character who has to come to terms with many different things. The chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman is fantastic, and I honestly want to see this movie again as soon as possible. I had to pee so bad halfway through this movie that it was hard for me to even focus on what was going on because I didn't want to miss a single second. So I'm going to see this movie again, if not 3 or 4 more times. What everybody wants to know, are there cameos in this movie? Yeah. Tons. Some of the leaks were real, some of them weren't. It's best to just go in without knowing anything, and I honestly wish I didn't hear about any of the leaks, even the ones that were true or weren't true, because there are cameos. I mean, there's probably close to 10 cameos in this movie of very popular Marvel characters. I quickly want to talk about the plot of this movie, and the plot, for being as crazy as it is, this is a multiversal story, is very straightforward. They don't spend too much time with the plot. It's more about the characters, and I really enjoyed that. Normally with these multiverse films, you have to think a lot about what's going on and the consequences of actions and things like that, and while there is some of that in this movie, it's more of just having a good time with these characters and being grateful for what we're watching. There are so many frames and sequences and fights in this movie that are just so iconic to me now because, well, I never thought we were going to get it. The fact that we're getting Hugh Jackman back with Ryan Reynolds Deadpool in this X-Men Marvel combo world with Fox and Disney is a dream come true, and the fact that Disney and Marvel Studios are able to pull this off in the way that they did is close to impossible. I'm telling you, I had such a good time with this movie. It was pure eye candy. There were so many moments that I wish I could just replay over and over in my head. I could think of one specific shot that seemed like it was pulled right out of a comic book. And there are plenty moments in this movie that pay homage to specific comic panels and covers, and I know you're gonna know them when you see it. In terms of villains, there's kind of a couple, I guess, without getting into much of spoilers. We know Cassandra Nova is one of the main, if not the main antagonist of this movie. I really enjoyed her performance. I honestly wish there was more of her in this movie, but yeah, this was great to see her portray Charles Xavier's twin sister. A very powerful, a very demented, and very scary character, to be honest. I had lots of high hopes for this movie, so many expectations, and I was worried when I was about to start watching it that I may have overhyped it too much. But honestly, I'm satisfied with what I got. I'm really just grateful overall, and as the credits roll, there's something that happens that just kind of brought a tear to my eye almost. I don't want to give it away, but this is a swan song to the Fox X-Men Marvel era. Not just the older X-Men movies, but the entire Fox Marvel era. It's all under one roof now, and the implications of that moving to the future is so exciting. The variants of Deadpool that pop up, the comedy with that, the inclusion of the TVA in the plot, which the implications of what the TVA is doing in this movie is really interesting, and the concepts that they bring up about the multiverse and the rules they kind of set for the multiverse definitely is leading towards the future with Fantastic Four, Secret Wars, and the next Avengers movie. They introduce a concept here that I'm not going to get into that is really, really intriguing. Moving forward with Deadpool and Wolverine in the future of the MCU, don't know where they're going to go with it. As Ryan Reynolds has said in an interview, this is not just an ad for the next movie. This is its own self-contained story, and it's an absolute blast. It's kind of hard to picture anybody else playing either of these characters. We all wondered who's going to play Wolverine next in the MCU, and honestly, I don't know if we want anyone else. They joke about that in this movie, and they also joke about Disney and Marvel Studios themselves in the multiverse saga. There's totally a self-awareness in this movie with its humor that honestly just made me so grateful to be a Marvel fan, realizing this brand cares about its fans, cares about its products, and knows when things are good, when things are bad, and how to poke fun at themselves. I was really proud of Marvel for doing that here. Obviously, I won't go into specifics because this is a non-spoiler review, but the future is looking really bright, guys. Marvel has so many toys to play with now. We have San Diego Comic-Con this weekend that I will be covering in full, so please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and if you have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, leave your comments down below. Try not to do any spoilers because we're going to do a spoiler video later on, but leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very soon for that breakdown.